Hi friends, your pal Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about Dungeons and Dragons, and we're going to talk about Disney Plus's Star Wars Andor Season 2. All right, so let's get into it. So, and we're going to talk about what Disney Plus Star Wars Andor Season 2 accomplished as an intellectual property that is so good, it establishes a new goal for Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons is, in my opinion, it is the most valuable, most powerful intellectual property in the world, bar none. Bar none. It is just outrageously powerful. Okay, and it's extremely powerful and valuable and adaptable, and it doesn't function like any intellectual property on the earth. In fact, and that's one of the reasons. That's the entire point of my channel. Is I'm convinced no one in the world understands what Dungeons and Dragons is except me. It's really different. All right, so let's get into this. So, but now Disney Plus Star Wars Andor Season 2 comes along, and it surpasses Dungeons and Dragons with multiple achievements, and we're going to talk about the most important one today. All right, so first of all, and I really appreciate your patience. We're going to get there. But first, I have to explain what Disney Plus Star Wars Andor Season 2 is. And I'm just going to say Andor Season 2 going forward. And this is important. I need you to understand this. It's not Andor as a series. It's not Andor Season 1. It's Andor Season 2. Like, this is why we're talking today. We wouldn't be talking about Andor Season 1. Like, Andor Season 2 is truly incredible and is historical. It's historically important. So first of all, Andor Season 1 cost $200 million, okay? It's a Disney show, right? They have that kind of money. They have billions of dollars because they make billions of dollars. In fact, they're the only movie studio in 2024 that made any billion-dollar movies, right? The rest of the industry made zero, and they made two, right? Like Inside Out 2 and Deadpool Wolverine, right? So that's very interesting, all right? They have billions of dollars to spend, billions, okay? And they spend it, right? Like, and so they spent $200 million on Andor Season 1. Now, Andor is a really bizarre show. It is a show that literally somebody went into, Tony Gilroy specifically, went into a Disney executive room filled with executives and said, hey, I know, you remember when Luke Skywalker was like, using his X-Wing to shoot down that, that tunnel and was, remember when Luke was going to shoot that missile down the chute of the Death Star, and how cool that was, and, how exciting that was. And what if we did a show where, the rebellion, we did a whole show about how the rebellion was funded. And you're like, how the rebellion was funded? You mean like the forms and the amortization and the taxes and just the money? Yeah. And like there wouldn't be much action. There'd be a lot of like Mon Mothma going to parties. A lot of politics. This would be great for people who love like Tinker Tailor Spy. But isn't everybody who loves Tinker Tailor Spy, don't they watch like the Turner Classic Networks? Like, isn't there almost no one who likes that stuff anymore? Yeah, that's correct. So you want $200 million to make this, but no one will watch it? Yes, that's right. Right? Like, and Disney's like, yep, good to go. Here's your $200 million. Hope nobody watches this. And sure enough, nobody watched it. You think I'm wrong? Go listen to Grace Randolph. Now, here's what's wild, okay? They did it again. They did it for Season 2. Like, hey, remember that show that nobody watched, but you paid $200 million? How about rinse and repeat? And they're like, yeah, that'd be great, right? Like, we'll give you $200 million again, and you give us a show that nobody watches. Now, first of all, why? Why would anybody do this? This doesn't make any sense, right? And that's exactly what Grace Randolph said. She said this makes absolutely no economic sense. This is a terrible business model from every single perspective, right? So it was a terrible idea to ever even make this show, right? And no one really knows why it was made, right? Like, it doesn't make any economic sense, right? So why are we talking about it today? Well, Andor Season 2 did something that even Dungeons & Dragons hasn't done. And what is that? So here we go. Thank you for the long wait. Here it is. Okay. It made a new type of fan. Okay. So Daredevil, Big Bang Theory. Big Bang Theory. That's a good one, right? Young Sheldon, and you know, the third spinoff, and Friends. Fans who enjoy the show, right? Fans who enjoy the show. Right now, the reality is it's not easy to get that. It's not easy to get fans nowadays. A lot of shows get ignored. A lot of there are shows that nobody watches, right? I'm watching a show right now called Government Cheese. I've never heard a single person in the world talk about Government Cheese. It doesn't really have fans, right? It's just like, it's not a bad show, right? It's just not a show that has fans, right? Literally, you know, and I'll go to church on Sunday and I'll talk with my buddy and he'll list three shows. He is never going to list Government Cheese. He's never going to watch it. I don't think he knows it exists, right? So it's not easy to get fans, right? But Friends and all these other shows, they did it, right? They actually did it. And what did they do? Well, they built fans who enjoy the show. So that's one thing a show can do. And it's not easy to do that, okay? But Andor Season 2 went way beyond that. It went way beyond that. Listen to what Andor Season 2 did. This is what it did. It built fans who endure. Not fans who enjoy. Fans who endure. And I watched Andor Season 1. And I watched Andor Season 2. And I didn't enjoy either one. I endured them, right? Now, why did I endure them? Well, I love Star Wars, and I want to be in that world. And in both cases, Star Wars Andor Season 1 and Star Wars Andor Season 2, I'm in that world, right? You inhabit that world. You live in it, right? You don't enjoy being there, but you are there, okay? And that's the point, is Andor was not enjoyed by anyone. It was endured by everyone who made it through. And most people can't even do that. Most people can't do that, right? And I am a better Star Wars fan than you because I've watched Star Wars Andor 2, right? Season 2. I understand how the rebellion was funded. And it was a very fascinating journey. Not an enjoyable journey, not an exciting journey, not a cool, epic, adventurous journey, an extremely drag you over glass journey, right? With bleeding and pain, right? Like, it was very hard to watch this. And it's not just me saying that. Grace Randolph is like, episodes 4 through 6 are garbage. Absolute garbage. You have to pull yourself through them, right? Now, I actually believe that all of it is difficult to watch. But now that it's done and I've watched it, I understand Star Wars at a level no one else ever will, right? This would be like if you made a show, like a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle show, where it was all focused on the zoning plans for Shredder's hovel in the sewer and why it's not zoned residential, right? Like, you're just like, who would watch that? And the answer is, you would think no one, right? But this is the entire point, right? If you could get executives to sign off and spend $200 million on a show no one will watch twice, you got something, right? You have a show that people will endure, that fans, it creates a fan that will endure, right? Not a fan that can enjoy. And that's the entire point. And this is where, and Dungeons & Dragons has not done this. It has not created fans who will endure. It has only created fans who will enjoy. And there isn't even a space for people to discuss this. And that there's not a space for people to discuss Andor. People don't understand what Andor is. Like, Grace is like, this makes no economic sense. This show should never have been made, right? But there is a path through there, and there's a reason it was made. It was made to create fans that endure, not fans who enjoy. And that is something that Dungeons & Dragons absolutely needs to do. Every single word you just heard in this video is my humble opinion. The important part is when I get to hear your humble opinion. When you get in the comments and send your traffic, please consider subscribing and have a fetch millennium.